The 30th Congress, which was put on hold by the Confederation of African Football and FIFA from their recent visit to the country, saw the NFA going ahead with it without the approval of CAF and FIFA. From the resolutions taken during the Congress, they dismantled the executive committee, including the president, as well as the approval of the association's financial statements.
When we got the audited financial reports, were just few days before the Congress, and the Congress felt that this financials should be taken to the Audit and Compliance Committee to look at them. Once the Audit and Compliance Committee of the NFA has approved that, then it will be taken to Congress again. So there is an extraordinary Congress that is scheduled for the 18th of December just to ratify the financials, the budget, and the appointment of the Electoral Committee and the Elections Appeals Committee. Those things will be taken to the extraordinary Congress. So that was also one of the resolutions, that Electoral Committee should be appointed and an appeal committee for elections should also be appointed. And those appointments will be done on the 18th. And the next bigger thing that was discussed at that Congress is the dismissal of the body. And that body is the NFA Executive Committee. So Congress deliberated on that, and the majority of the delegates voted in favor that the Executive Committee should be dismissed.
Today on One Sports, caught up with veteran sports reporter Ndlovu, who weighed in on the resolutions taken at the Congress, as well as his stance on the upcoming Congress slated for this weekend.
It was clear from the time the Congress was called that the outcome would be the dissolution of the Executive Committee and the sort of firing, if you may put it that way, of the president of the Namibia Football Association by the members who actually have the power to do that, because it's been a long time coming based on the struggles or on the power struggles that have been happening this whole year. Remember the extraordinary Congress, which was stopped by CAF and FIFA. So they just took the agenda points from the extraordinary Congress and they put them onto the ordinary Congress, and they just continued with it, which I think sort of brings into question, the sincerity of the members, how sincere they are in trying to resolve this whole impasse. If you look at the voting of the NFA, it's a boys' club. If you're not within that circle, you can't vote and you can't be voted for into, only 22, 23 people, 24 people vote. And it tells you that it's a group of people, it's a certain group of people that can actually vote. If an election has to be held now, quite a number of them will come back from the disbanded Executive Committee. They will come back in one position or another. So their aim, their target was the president, but to get it to the president, they had to go through the executive. They couldn't only target the president alone. They had to go through the executive. So the Congress that they held, is it 2 weeks ago, has tainted this upcoming Congress. You understand? Had they not removed the executive, maybe they only discussed the financials and any other business which does not involve the case that is currently at FIFA and CAF. Then this Congress wouldn't be that much tainted, and people would be able to overlook at it and say, no, it's fine. But because the extraordinary Congress, one extraordinary Congress was stopped, and then you continue with another extraordinary Congress. So you can see already that something is not right with those two Congresses, the one that is coming up and the one that was last week. So it puts the NFA in a position where they need to keep explaining things to the general public. Why did you stop one extraordinary Congress and continue with the other one?
Despite Ranga Haikali being ousted together with the Executive Committee of the NFA at the Ordinary Congress, in a press release from the COSAFA President Philips Chiyangwa to the Secretary General at the Federation of International Football FIFA, Madam Fatma Samura, titled The Namibia Football Situation, Chiyangwa expressed disappointment towards the NFA members and executives for holding the Congress without CAF and FIFA's instructions, and has begged Ranga Haikali, as he still regards him as the association's president.